Good evening from London. Welcome to Piers Morgan Uncensored. Much of the world threw its support behind Israel in the wake of the Hamas attacks of October the 7th. Landmarks from Downing Street to the Empire State Building and the Brandenburg Gate were illuminated in the colours of the Israeli flag. Quite rightly. It can't be repeated enough. That was a terrorist attack and the worst mass killing of Jewish people since the Holocaust. But as the Israeli response now intensifies, that backing will inevitably be tested and challenged. As we've debated on this show, what is a proportionate response to acts of terror like that, and who should get to decide that? Israel knows it needs the full support of its allies in this push to wipe out its enemy Hamas. The Palestinians know that too, and the result is a dangerous fog of war, with both sides making claims and counterclaims, apparently living in completely alternate realities. Last night, the world was shocked by this.
We are now learning that hundreds of people have now died in a strike on a Gaza hospital.
Israel has thrown any caution to the wind. 500 Palestinians are said to have been killed in an explosion.
One of the most deadly attacks of this conflict so far.
Between 200 and 300 people were killed in a bombing targeting a hospital. That's according to a spokesperson for the Palestinian Health Ministry.
Well, authorities in Gaza City, which is controlled by Hamas, said an Israeli rocket destroyed the hospital, killing 500 people. As I said at the time, if true, this would be a major turning point in the war, and the consequences were immediate. Jordan cancelled a summit with President Biden. Mahmoud Abbas, the Palestinian Authority president, cancelled his meeting with Biden too. Condemnation poured in from everywhere. Then it began to get a little more complicated. The Israelis first denied that any hospital was a target, then said the rocket was fired by Palestinian terrorists. They said it misfired and landed in the hospital car park, and they had the evidence to prove it. Tonight, the White House said it's seen that evidence and that it agrees. This was President Biden shortly after arriving in Israel today.
I was deeply saddened and outraged by the explosion at the hospital in Gaza yesterday. And based on what I've seen, it appears as though it was done by the other team, not you. But there's a lot of people out there not sure. So we've got to overcome a lot of things.
Well, it's not a game. There are no teams here. It's a deadly serious war. But the other serious point here is that rushing to judgment is a big mistake. October the 7th was a terrorist attack. This is a war. And in times of war, we have to look twice at everything, maybe three times. News outlets like the BBC rushed to send push notifications and break news about a wicked supposed Israeli attack. Now the BBC's own Verify unit is citing a large pile of circumstantial evidence that the blast originated in Gaza, and none of it, in fact, came from Israel. In these febrile times, we should trust sparingly and question everything. And remember this, whoever did blow up that hospital, a lot of innocent and vulnerable people died.